Isa Morales sat on a throne of blood and gold. Her kingdom was not castles and fields, but an empire of dust, steel, and fear. From Culiacan to Miami, her name was both prayer and curse. She was La Reina, the queen. Isa inherited the cartel from her father, but she was smarter, faster, and saw the world as a chessboard. Every move was calculated, every risk weighed. Her power was absolute, built on loyalty and violence. The walls of her world were cash and cocaine, guarded by men with cold eyes. Isa trusted no one completely. Trust was a weakness she couldn't afford. She commanded respect through strategy and ruthlessness. Her enemies learned quickly, to cross Isa was to sign a death warrant. Yet every queen has a vulnerability. For Isa, it was her sister Sofia. Sofia was gentle, innocent, and far from Isa's world of betrayal. Isa built her empire to protect Sofia, the one pure thing in her life. This love was both her strength and her weakness. She knew her enemies would come for Sofia one day. And when that day came, Isa's kingdom would face its ultimate test. The fortress she built was strong, but every fortress has a secret door. The past never stays buried. For Isa, it returned on a humid Tuesday night, her sister Sofia at the gates. Sofia was changed, her eyes haunted by fear. She wasn't there for a reunion, but to deliver a warning. Sofia spoke of Project Glasshouse, a government digital weapon designed to dismantle empires like Isa's. It didn't use guns, but data and algorithms, turning technology against its owners. Sofia had learned of it through a whisper in academia that became a scream. She came to warn Isa. The old ways of war were over. Now the enemy was invisible. Isa listened, her face cold, but inside, unease brewed. She had always controlled the physical world, but this threat was different. Ethereal, living in cyberspace. Project Glasshouse could, media group, digital surveillance cameras view of luxury estate, glowing code overlaying view of opulent office at stock, at distribute underscore equally. See everything. Turn phones into listening devices, drain accounts, expose networks. Suddenly, her fortress felt fragile. The warning changed everything. The game had new rules. Isa's enemies were no longer just cartels or the DEA, but a silent, all-seeing eye. They had made it personal by dragging Sofia into the mud. Isa's mind raced. She would not be a victim. She would fight this ghost. The digital war had begun, and Isa would meet it with fire and steel. Project Glasshouse demanded a new kind of warfare. Isa couldn't shoot an algorithm or intimidate a server. She had to evolve. She summoned hackers and security experts, building a digital bunker beneath her compound. First, defense. She overhauled communications, invested in encrypted networks, and scattered her fortune in cryptocurrency. She built a digital fortress to blind the all-seeing eye. Second, offense. Isa's digital army probed government networks, hunting for Project Glasshouse's infrastructure. It was a dangerous game, but Isa needed to know her enemy. The shift to technology created ripples. Her old guard distrusted the hackers. Some saw Isa's new strategy as weakness, not understanding the battlefield had shifted to the web. Isa managed the friction carefully. A divided kingdom could not stand, especially with a digital serpent slithering beneath. The true war was now in the shadows of cyberspace. Isa's survival depended on adaptation. The old rules were gone. Only the cunning would survive. The greatest threats come from within. As Isa fought the digital ghost, poison spread in her own ranks. Javier, her second-in-command, saw her focus on technology as weakness. He craved her power, believing it was his by right. Javier moved in shadows, rallying disgruntled captains, promising a return to brutal tradition. He painted Isa as a queen lost in computers, neglecting the real business. Subtle betrayals began, missing shipments, dead informants. Isa's instinct screamed something was wrong. She investigated, using the very tech Javier scorned. Loyalists infiltrated his circle, communications were monitored. The confirmation of betrayal was a cold blow. Javier, her rock, was sharpening the knife. Trust no one, Isa reminded herself. She had to act, swiftly and decisively. The Viper had to be dealt with before his venom poisoned everything. In her world, betrayal was paid for in blood. The digital war and internal betrayal collided. Javier, arrogant, saw Project Glasshouse as an opportunity, feeding information to the enemy. He leaked details of Isa's digital infrastructure, thinking he'd seize power in the chaos. The attack was swift, a digital blitzkrieg. Isa's networks went dark, accounts drained, lieutenants arrested. Her digital fortress shattered, her empire crumbling. For a moment, Isa felt defeat. But then, fury replaced fear. Javier had armed her worst enemy. In the chaos, Isa's hackers found a name: Diego, a disgraced DEA agent, the architect of Project Glasshouse. He was on a personal crusade, and now, Isa had a target. She had lost her fortune and power, but gained a face for her enemy. The war was no longer digital, it was about to become real. Isa's resolve hardened. She would not go down quietly. The serpent had a name, and Isa was coming for him. The queen was not finished yet. The final battle was about to begin. Diego wanted more than Isa's empire. He wanted her spirit broken. He knew about Sofia. With Isa's network shattered, Sofia was exposed. Diego sent mercenaries, not agents, to snatch Sofia from her quiet life. The message was clear. This was personal. The news hit Isa like a physical blow. Her digital empire and money were gone. Now they had taken what mattered most. Isa was no longer a queen, just a sister desperate to save her own. Diego had crossed the line, demanding a pound of flesh. Loyalists urged caution. It was a trap. Isa didn't care. Empires could be rebuilt, but Sofia was irreplaceable. The choice was simple. She would burn the world to get her sister back. She gathered her last loyal soldiers, armed herself with steel, and prepared for war. This was a return to the old ways. Blood for blood. Isa was going after Diego. She would get Sofia back, and she would make Diego pay. He wanted to see the queen bleed. He was about to learn her blood was fire. The reckoning would be swift and merciless. The hunt for Diego was swift and brutal. Isa moved through the underworld, calling in old favors, tracking Diego to an abandoned warehouse district. But first, she had a debt to settle: Javier. She found him celebrating in a nightclub, surrounded by traitors. Isa and her loyalists stormed the club, ending Javier's betrayal with cold finality. With Javier gone, Isa focused on the warehouse. Outmanned and outgunned, her soldiers fought for loyalty, not money. Isa planned the assault with precision, knowing every entry point. The attack began under darkness, a symphony of chaos. Isa was on the front line, reclaiming her kingdom one bullet at a time. Her target was Diego. Every fallen enemy brought her closer to Sofia. Every gunshot was vengeance. Isa fought through the warehouse, relentless and unyielding. She was a queen with nothing left to lose. Diego had started this war. Isa would finish it. She was coming for him, and hell was coming with her. The final confrontation was in the heart of the warehouse. Isa found Diego with Sofia bound beside him. He taunted her, believing he had won. But he had only stripped Isa down to her core. The time for talk was over. The fight was brutal and desperate. Diego, a trained agent. Isa, a survivor forged in fire. Isa's ferocity stunned him, her love and rage giving her the edge. In the end, Isa disarmed Diego. For a moment they faced each other, hunter and hunted, roles reversed. Isa saw a man lost to his own crusade. She did what she had to do. The reckoning was complete. Isa untied Sofia, holding her close amid the wreckage. Her empire was gone, but Sofia was safe. The war for survival had just entered a new, more dangerous phase. I survived. I walked out with my sister, leaving behind the ashes of my former life. I had lost my fortune, my network, and my anonymity. But I was not defeated. My legacy was written in blood and data streams. I was a legend, the queen who sacrificed her kingdom for family. The cost was steep. I could never go back. Now I was a fugitive, hunted by old and new enemies, but I was free from my gilded cage. The bond with Sofia was all that remained, tested by fire and stronger than ever. Our survival was a testament to loyalty and love. I reign now over my own destiny, a queen without a throne, a ghost in the new world. My will to survive is absolute.